Returning against the Ravens, how many yards is he going to throw for?
I say 245. I know that he puts up big numbers against the Ravens in the previous games. However, he's just coming back from an injury, guys. Like, there's a lot of pressure on him, and this team has had a lot of success running the ball. My guess is that they come into this game putting more pressure on Chase Brown and allowing Joe Burrow to ease back into things and take big shots to Chase.
He's looking for Jamar every single
In that same game, we got King Henry on the other side. Lewis, what is your number for rushing yards for Derrick Henry?
At a minimum, 150.
Whoa!
At a minimum. Look, Cincinnati's given up over 5 yards per carry, 150 plus per game. Derrick Henry, if you look at his statistics going back to like week 5, it's been good game, bad game, good game, bad game. 30, 35 yards rushing, close to 100 yards rushing. He's coming off of a bad game from a total perspective from the Jets. He's going to go off in this game against Cincinnati. 150 plus King Henry return.
Let's go. In the early game, Jeff, Micah Parsons, first time these teams played, he wrecked the game. What's his number of sacks tomorrow in Detroit?
I hate even saying this because I'm just like propping D linemen, but he's going to get 2, I believe. And the problem for the Lions and for everybody in the NFL is he moves around. Like, it's not like he just goes in one spot and you can try to create your protection, slide to him. The dude will line up over center, guard, tackle, it doesn't matter. Walk to the right, walk to the left. He plays with such freedom and they allow him to. And by the way, they do a great job stopping the run to get kind of ahead of the chains defensively, which lets him pin his ears back. I'm going 2 sacks, which I do not like giving sacks to DB.
So let's talk about this because obviously Green Bay has that fearsome front, line, the front of their defense. They rush the passer about as well as any team in the league. A lot more attention is given to the Houston defense and the Denver defense, but this Green Bay defense has been on that level. And am I living in a world now where all of a sudden we think Detroit's offensive line could be their Achilles heel?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but they're much weaker than they have been in the past. And we saw it in week 1. Like, the Packers exposed them in week 1. They still want to be a team that runs the ball and lives off of play action. But if you can't run the ball, that offense only really works when they do that effectively. Gibbs broke out last week, and I think that's part of the reason why Dan Campbell took over play calling. We got to get the ball to Gibbs, and we got to run the ball early. If the Packers stop this run early and allow for Micah Parsons to get after him, that's when the problems start.
I've had people, I was going to say, I've had people saying Dan Campbell calling plays is an issue.
Problem.
Where do you stand?
So I feel like the bigger issue to me is sort of Amon-Ra drops. I think it's penalties. I think it's the O-line not being healthy. I think all of those things are sort of causing issues offensively. That's what's disrupting the offense. So when you tell me Dan Campbell is the problem, I just don't see it. There's a reason that as a head coach, he felt like something needs to change on this team. And as the CEO, I have to make the change, and I'm taking the reins.
Yeah, and I got no problem with that part. I think when you look at this offensive line, Ragnow retired, who was a perennial Pro Bowler, so Glasgow moved from guard to center. Zeitler moved in free agency, so now you have Tate Ratledge, who's playing at guard. So they're not the same group, right? They've had some guys have kind of been banged up. So there's been reasons, and not excuses, but reasons they haven't been as good. I will say, the Gibbs breakout. He only ran it 15 times, y'all. The difference with Detroit last year and this year to me is the attempt of runs. It's not necessarily it is the attempts of runs. They would literally bash you, and then it would be the St. Brown show, or then it would be, it would be the golf show. Right now, it's like it's flipped around. That plays into the Packers' hands because the Packers, if they know that they can take you out of the run game, they can be very efficient in sacking Goff and making plays in the backfield.
So Jeff is maybe rubbing off on me here, but we've managed to go 6 minutes into this conversation and have not mentioned Jordan Love and have not mentioned Jared Goff. Which quarterback do we feel better about going into this game tomorrow?
I feel better about Jared Goff because I feel better about his pass catchers. I feel better about the fact that they will correct their issues. I don't know what wide receiver core is going to show up for Green Bay as far as their consistency tracking the football and being there for Jordan when he needs him to be there.
Yeah.
I believe in Amon-Ra St. Brown. I believe in Jamison Williams. I damn sure believe in Jahmyr Gibbs. And I believe in Dan Campbell's ability to say, hey, look, this is a player over plays type of situation, and I'm going to get the ball to my players. Yeah. And Green Bay Detroit still has a bunch of them. That's why I'm picking them in this game.
Quickly, Nick, you're the only one on Green Bay. Give me 15 seconds on why.
Yeah, I think it's where we started. I think it's that defense. It's going to be the best unit out there if you count the offenses and defenses on both sides. I think that Packers defense is going to be the difference maker. And Jared Goff hasn't been playing great lately. And they do not. They want to run the outside zone to Gibbs. And this Packers team is great against the outside zone in particular. So I'm not sure if they're going to turn to Montgomery up the middle or not.
Sneaky little fox right there. Montgomery in between the tackles might be the show.
Such a busy moment in sports. Let me do Get Up and Go, which is brought to you by Nature Made, because there are so many other stories you need to be aware of, starting in the NFL, where Carolina safety Trayvon Merrick has been suspended one game for striking the Niners' Juwan Jennings in the groin on Monday night. Merrick is appealing. I mean, the suspension, he's appealing too, but that's a whole other thing. If the suspension is upheld, it just says Merrick is appealing. If it's upheld, he'll miss Sunday's game. Bills have added another veteran wide receiver. It's Brandon Cooks. He was waived last week by the Saints. The 32-year-old Cooks has nearly 10,000 receiving yards in 12 seasons.
That linebacker. Okay, we don't need all this hyped up. All right, just go play quarterback and be relaxed and throw the damn ball to the right guy.
Maybe he needs a little bit of that, right? And I mean, I have watched the faces of my football players when they hear about the quarterback with the alter ego. Like, I don't want this to be like a piling on to the kid, because obviously things are going very difficultly for him. But when things are going bad and you have an alter ego, go ahead, Jeff.
I mean, first of all, it drives me nuts. Like whoever allowed that stuff to get out and like did the piece or whatever that nonsense, like somebody should have directed him better. Like to BA's point, you haven't even earned the right to have an alter ego in the NFL yet, right? You got a college alter ego? Okay, let's leave it in college. Let's figure this out now that we're in the NFL. It's difficult for me to even stomach that kind of nonsense, because BA was one of my coaches, right? And he would talk to you just like he just said that to McAfee. He would look at you and be like, shut up, man. Just go do this, right? Do the simple stuff really well. And that's the part that JJ's struggling with, man, is the simple stuff, the routes that he knows are there. His timing is off, and then he presses, and guess what? All the stuff that you did brings pressure on yourself because you did the alter ego piece, or you do this silly branding stuff outside of just the game. Just let the game come to you, man.
Yeah, I mean, you said branding and marketing, like it kind of falls in that category. To be honest, like, what matters most is what always matters is how you perform on the field.
Amen.
All the stuff that you do off the field, if you're performing on the field, it then becomes cool and quirky and
That's
cute.
right.
If you're not playing well on the field, we're going to make fun of you about it.
Crush you.
Who cares? Don't talk to no cameras. And that's what happens when you're in a situation like this. You need to like buckle down and focus on what's important. And you can worry about that. That's stage 3, stage 4 stuff. Talking about alter egos and face paint and all this other stuff. That's later. Once you start getting some pelts on the wall, then you can go talk about that. Which, I mean, whatever you have to do to get your mind there, you got to do it. Like, we've obviously been around players who transition in a different type, but then going to talk about it.
Seldom quarterbacks, though, right? I mean, I think he's talking about that.
But
too.
we as the media can't have it both ways. When he was at Michigan, he would sit under the goalpost and he would meditate, and there would be people in the NFL who would roll their eyes, but we said, we love this. We love that this is a new age quarterback who is at one with himself and has a mental health journey that he talks about openly, and that when he does the commercials for Aloe, when he does all the things pre-draft, that we celebrate. Well, it was all